Something extraordinary has happened in the quiet, snow-dusted hills of northern Japan, and the implications are about to shatter the walls of a humble convent and ripple across the entire world. Just days ago, in the sacred silence of Akita, Sister Agnes of Sagawa received what many theologians are already calling the most significant spiritual communication of the last 50 years. At the age of 94, this fragile nun, who has lived through miraculous events that once captivated the globe, found herself chosen as a messenger one final time. But this time, the message was not a general warning for humanity or a call to prayer for a specific nation. It bore a specific name, a precise destination, and an urgency that has sent shockwaves through the deepest circles of Catholic mysticism. The recipient of this divine summons was not a pope, a cardinal, or a bishop. It was Father Petar Jabisic, the Croatian priest who holds one of the most solemn responsibilities in modern religious history. For decades, he has waited in prayerful silence, knowing that one day he will be called to announce the 10 secrets entrusted to the visionaries of Medjugorje. Until now, Akita and Medjugorje were seen as separate chapters in the Book of Revelation, 2 different continents, 2 different eras. But what happened in those quiet, pre-dawn hours in Japan has just linked them together, creating a spiritual bridge that spans oceans and decades. As a small thank you for joining us today during this unfolding mystery, we want to offer a moment of shared blessing. Comment with the word faith below if you are open to receiving a special final thought dedicated to everyone participating. And please press like if you appreciate these urgent updates. According to sources close to the convent, Sister Agnes awoke before dawn on November 19th with an overwhelming sense of divine presence. The same guardian angel who had visited her throughout the 1970s appeared once more, but this was no comforting visit. The angel's words were direct, piercing, and filled with sacred haste. Seek Father Petar immediately. The time of revelation approaches faster than anticipated. The silence of Akita has been broken. The timeline has accelerated, and the message is clear. The events foretold in Japan and the secrets sealed in Bosnia are converging toward a singular moment before the end of 2025. But why now? And what is the specific instruction the angel gave that links a weeping statue in Japan to a village in Bosnia? In the next chapter, we will reveal the specific message sent to Father Petar and why he has been terrified of this moment for 40 years. To truly grasp the magnitude of this revelation, we must look at the man who has become the focal point of heaven's attention. Father Petar Jabisic, now in his late 70s, has lived his entire priesthood in the shadow of a colossal prophecy. He was not chosen by a Vatican committee or a council of bishops. He was personally selected by the visionary Mirjana Dragicevic-Saldo to be the voice of the secrets. For decades, he has carried a burden that would crush most men. He has lived with the knowledge that when the signal finally comes, the clock starts ticking. He will have exactly 7 days of intense fasting and prayer. Then, precisely 3 days before each event occurs, he must stand before the world and announce exactly what will happen, where and when. He has been a watchman scanning the horizon, expecting the sign to come from the rocky hills of Herzegovina. He never imagined it would come from a snow-covered convent thousands of miles away in Japan. But the instruction given to Sister Agnes by the angel was specific and impossible to ignore. She was commanded to contact Father Petar through a network of intermediaries, bypassing the usual slow channels of ecclesiastical bureaucracy. The message was designed to prepare him for an imminent spiritual event that serves as the missing link in prophetic timeline. This event, described by the angel, acts as a supernatural bridge connecting the 2 most significant Marian phenomena of the modern age, the weeping statue of Akita and the sealed scrolls of Medjugorje. The tears shed in Japan were a warning of sorrow. The secrets in Bosnia are the unfolding of that reality. Now, they are no longer separate warnings, but a single converging alarm. The angel revealed that this convergence points towards something unprecedented in the history of Catholic mysticism. We are witnessing a divine pincer movement, where the message of the East meets the message of the West to wake up a sleeping world. But what exactly is this event? In the next chapter, we will reveal the specific details the angel gave about the Great Illumination and why it is described not as a punishment, but as a final act of mercy. The message entrusted to Sister Agnes brings a clarity that is both comforting and terrifying. The angel revealed that the coming event, this Great Illumination, will not be a catastrophe of fire and brimstone, but a catastrophe of truth. It is described explicitly as a final act of divine mercy, a moment of grace designed to wake up a world sleepwalking toward the abyss. Imagine a moment where the noise of the world stops and every human soul, believer and non-believer alike, suddenly sees the spiritual reality that surrounds them. The angel explained that this illumination will strip away every excuse and every lie. For those who are prepared through prayer and repentance, this revelation will feel like a profound, settling peace, a confirmation of what they have held in their hearts. But for those who have rejected the call to conversion, the clarity will be overwhelming, a blinding light revealing the true state of their souls. The timing of this revelation is not accidental. As we move deeper into 2025, the world is already trembling under the weight of escalating global tensions, natural disasters increasing in frequency, and profound spiritual confusion spreading even within the church. The convergence of Akita and Medjugorje suggests that God is no longer content to whisper while his children are in danger. He is preparing to shout. The angel explained that the tears shed by the statue in Akita decades ago were tears of sorrow for a world drifting away from God. The secrets held in Bosnia are the divine answer to that drift, the consequences of ignoring the tears. Now, they are merging into a single prophetic timeline. Sister Agnes, despite her advanced age and physical frailty, remains spiritually alert, serving as a fragile vessel for this weighty news. Her life of suffering has prepared her to be the bridge, and the message she sent to Bosnia is unequivocal. The fulfillment is not in the distant future. It is happening now. The era of waiting is over. The era of fulfillment has begun. But you don't have to take this on blind faith. The physical world is already reacting to the spiritual shift. In the next chapter, we will reveal the sweet fragrance that has suddenly returned to Akita and the medical miracle of a deaf child that a scientist baffled. The evidence is no longer just mystical, it is physical. Since the angelic visitation in November, the supernatural phenomena surrounding both Akita and Medjugorje have intensified drastically, offering tangible proof that the spiritual atmosphere has shifted. In Japan, the wooden statue of Our Lady of Akita, which famously wept 101 times in the past, has begun to emit a powerful, sweet fragrance of flowers. This is not a new phenomenon, but a return of the specific scent that accompanied the original miracles in the 1970s. Pilgrims entering the convent describe an overwhelming sense of anticipation, a thickness in the air, as if creation itself is holding its breath for what is coming. Even more stunning are the reports of physical healings that have baffled medical experts. Just last week, a young girl born completely deaf visited the convent. After praying near the statue, her hearing was instantly and completely restored, a miracle that perfectly mirrors the healing of Sister Agnes herself decades ago. It is as if heaven is repeating its signature to ensure we know the message is authentic. Meanwhile, thousands of miles away in Medjugorje, the atmosphere is equally electric. The visionary Mirjana Dragicevic-Saldo has been observed in states of prolonged, intense ecstasy during her daily encounters with the Virgin Mary. Witnesses describe her face radiating a light that does not seem to come from this world. After these apparitions, her prayers have become urgent, passionate, and tearful. She has reportedly told close confidants that Mary's tone has shifted from gentle instruction to a maternal urgency, indicating that the time for warnings is nearly over. If you believe that God still performs miracles today, type Amen in the comments below. The message is consistent across both continents. The time for preparation is ending. But the most dramatic sign didn't happen in a convent or a vision. It happened on the altar. In the next chapter, we will take you to the church in Medjugorje on the morning of November 21st, when Father Petter suddenly collapsed. The weight of these revelations has begun to manifest in ways that even the most devout followers could not have anticipated. In the early hours of November 21st, just 2 days after Sister Agnes received the angelic message in Japan, something unprecedented happened inside the parish church of Medjugorje. Father Petter was celebrating his usual morning in Massachusetts. The church was filled with the quiet murmur of prayer. He reached the most sacred moment of the liturgy, the consecration, lifting the Eucharist high above the altar. Suddenly, he collapsed. Witnesses describe a moment of profound, suspended silence. The elderly priest did not fall from physical weakness, nor was it a medical episode like a heart attack or a stroke. He fell to his knees with a sudden, forceful motion, as if crushed by the weight of an overwhelming spiritual encounter. He did not lose consciousness. Instead, those present reported that he remained motionless in that position for nearly 10 minutes. The scene was transfixing. His face was described not as pale or pain, but as luminous, radiating a strange serenity even as tears streamed freely down his cheeks. It was a reaction of a man standing before reality too vast for the human mind to contain. When he finally found the strength to stand and complete the Mass, his voice carried a distinct tremor that spoke of having witnessed something beyond human comprehension. He finished the liturgy with great difficulty, his hands shaking visibly. As he left the altar and returned to the sacristy, he was heard whispering a single phrase in Croatian, repeating it over and over again like a mantra. The time is shortened. The time is shortened. Local church officials immediately placed him under spiritual direction, recognizing that this was no ordinary event. The connection was undeniable and terrifyingly precise. The angel speaks in Japan, and exactly 48 hours later, the priest in Bosnia is brought to his knees. The message had been delivered and received. The Vatican is no longer ignoring this. In the next chapter, we will reveal why Cardinal Parolin abruptly canceled his schedule, and the tears of blood reported in the Philippines that have the faithful trembling. The shock waves from Father Petter's collapse have rippled far beyond the stone walls of the Medjugorje parish. They have reached the marble corridors of the Vatican itself, triggering a response that is usually reserved for geopolitical crises. Reports from Rome confirm that Cardinal Pietro Parolin, the Vatican Secretary of State, and effectively the second most powerful man in the Church, abruptly canceled his entire schedule of public audiences for November 22nd. The official explanation was vague, but sources deep within the Apostolic Palace confirmed the truth. The Cardinal spent the day in urgent, closed-door consultations with theological experts specializing in private revelation. Even Pope Francis has reportedly been briefed on these developments. The Holy See, an institution famous for moving in centuries rather than days, is treating this convergence with unprecedented speed and seriousness. They realize that we are facing a historical singularity. Never before have two approved apparition sites, separated by vast distance, culture, and time, linked up so undeniably through their messengers. But the phenomenon is not staying contained to Rome or the Balkans. The spiritual atmosphere is shifting globally, and the physical signs are manifesting in terrifying ways. In the Philippines, during a massive prayer vigil dedicated specifically to this new Akita Medjugorje connection, a statue of Our Lady of Fatima reportedly began weeping tears of blood in front of hundreds of witnesses. This wasn't a private miracle in a hidden room. It was a public testimony. Meanwhile, in Mexico City, panic and awe erupted at the Basilica of Guadalupe. Thousands of pilgrims flocked to the site after reports circulated that the miraculous image on the tilma appeared to change its expression, shifting to a look of deep sadness mixed with hope. To join our community and keep up with these rapidly unfolding events, consider clicking like and subscribing to the channel. These events have even caught the attention of secular authorities. Intelligence agencies in both Japan and Bosnia have quietly initiated security protocols for massive crowd control. They are preparing for an influx of millions of pilgrims, sensing that the dam is about to break. The governments don't need to believe in the theology to fear the social impact of a global spiritual awakening. The world is trembling on the threshold of something monumental. The tears of the East and the secrets of the West are merging. But when will the final seal be broken? In our final chapter, we will reveal the specific date the angel gave to Sister Agnes and the 3-day window that will change history. We have finally reached the last and most critical piece of the puzzle. Through a careful analysis of the message delivered by the angel to Sister Agnes, a specific prophetic timeline has emerged, one that points to early December 2025 as the pivot point of human history. According to confidential sources within the convent, the angel did not speak in vague metaphors about the distant future. The message specified a distinct 3-day period beginning on December 8th, the Feast of the Immaculate Conception. This date is not random. It is a day the Church celebrates Mary's perfect union with God's grace. During the 72-hour window, the heavens are predicted to open in ways unseen since the apostolic age. Sister Agnes seems to be living in that reality already. She has entered a state of almost constant, deep prayer. Her fellow sisters report that she spends entire nights prostrate on the chapel floor before the Blessed Sacrament, oblivious to the cold or her own physical frailty. Occasionally, she is heard whispering urgent prayers in languages her sisters cannot identify, perhaps interceding for nations she has never visited. She knows, and Father Petter now knows, that the bridge has been built. The convergence is complete. The tears of Akita shed for the sorrow of God, and the secrets of Medjugorje, kept for the justice of God, are finally meeting. The era of warnings is transitioning into the era of action. Practical preparations are already underway. Father Petter has reportedly been in contact with major Catholic media outlets, quietly preparing them for announcements that will require immediate global transmission. He understands that when the first secret is released, it will serve as a supernatural sign visible to all of humanity, a confirmation that the time of hesitation is over. The message entrusted to Sister Agnes is not merely information. It is a summons. It is a final call to every soul to examine their conscience, to return to prayer, and to align themselves with divine will before the moment of revelation arrives. We are standing on the edge of the unknown, holding our breath as a final act of this extraordinary spiritual drama prepares to unfold. The question is no longer if it will happen. The question is, when the sky opens on December 8th, where will you be standing? As we conclude this urgent report on the Akita Medjugorje convergence, we invite you to make your choice known before the world. Comment "Jesus is King" below to affirm your faith in the face of the unknown. And your journey doesn't have to stop here. Click on the video appearing on your screen now for another powerful message we prepared for you.